But the meadows was our playground.
Yeah.
I used to see Floyd, hey, let's go down, we call it Barcall Brook. In the hot days, we'll go down and paddle in the Long Meadow, we call it Long Meadow Brook. There's one area, see where that's all flooded now on Pondside Avenue, where the beavers flooded.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was all fields in there. They used to harvest a lot of hay in there. The brook went at the bottom of the hill and went around just a curve. And we used to go, there's one spot down there, the water's probably a couple of feet deep. So we'd be sitting up there and decide to go paddling. And the dog would be there like a bundle of nerves, you know the way they are, one eye open. Come on, Buster, we're going to go down the brook. Bingo, he's right with us.
So by paddling, you were swimming, or?
Well, yeah, we couldn't do much swimming. You just dive in and get wet. That's about all. It was nice and cool. These are memory things you're bringing back to me. That dog was with us all the time, and we could do any play with him or whatever we wanted to do. But let anybody come near us, and he's ready to attack. He was and he was a big dog, a strong dog, a short-haired dog. Nobody could come near us. He wouldn't let anybody near us.
Very territorial.
But I only had him about 2 years, and then Floyd moved to Arkansas, then I was alone. So my dad bought me my first hunting rifle, .22 rifle. I used to do a lot of rabbit.
When you were how old?
About 14 then. But I was all alone a lot. You know, rabbits and squirrels. Then later on, I got a 16-gauge shotgun. Then I could hunt ducks and pheasants. I brought so many ducks home, my mother said, don't you dare bring another one in here. Well, the thing about it, they're ducks from Forest Park. They eat a lot of fish. And in the evening, they used to hover down on the cove in the river. So they were a very fishy taste. So I didn't dare bring another
fishy
duck
ducks.
But I used to.
You went to high school in Springfield.
Yes, I did.
So, and you went to trade.
Yes.
Right? So you had to take the trolley?
We take the trolley car as far as the Connor Estate in Maine.
And then you still had to hike.
Well, we had to walk up to school, and from there to
and
Spring
that's quite
Street.
a ways.
Yeah.
Oh, to Spring Street?
Yeah.
Then you went to Tech.
Tech was right next door. Trade and Tech are together. It was only an alleyway.
Oh, then Trade and Tech were together.
Yeah, they were all together.
You're right, of course. Right, when they built it farther up, they named it Putnam.
I knew that I couldn't go to college. Impossible to go to college. But I had an offer to go in high school in 9th grade here. Mr. Hershaft, who was a science teacher, he called me in. And he said, where are you going to school? I said, Mr. Hershaft, I've got to learn a good trade. I know I've got to support myself. I have to come to a point in life where I've got to harvest my responsibility and meet my obligations. And I want a good trade. So the best trade I'd like was wood pattern making. At that time, wood pattern making was really a high-skilled trade, and it paid more than tool makers. I completed I was president of my class, and I didn't know, prom night, I didn't know a girl to take prom. I didn't know how to dance anyway. So I completed a 3-year course in about 2.5 years.
Now, to go back to Mr. Hershaft, he wanted he wanted you to go to college.
So, well, you want me to tell you how I got to that point? We were, you know how it is in school, and we had like a bench, maybe 3 or 4 children in line. And I was mimicking something with a boy next to me. I'll never forget this. And he called my name. He says, how do you know that air has got weight? And I'm looking up. Oh, my God. And there's a bulb up on top. In those days, a bulb had a little tip to it. I said, take the bulb and weigh it. Break off the tip, save the glass, and weigh it. He looked at me. And he said, you're right. Only said, we burn a hole in the bulb, But he says, you're right. So, boy, did I get out of that.
So you were a president
So,
of your class
he,
at...
when I-
we're still in
When
the
I got
start.
out of the, when we were ready to graduate, Mr. Hershaft called me in.
Ninth
And
grade.
English is my worst subject. I could never understand English, nouns, pronouns, verbs. Oh, God. I always talk
Did you have to
Italian
parse
at
sentences?
home, you know.
Did you have to parse sentences?
Oh, because I always talk Italian at home.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
did?
All the time. My folks were immigrants, you know. So he called me in. He says, you should go to college. You ought to go to college. Mr. Hershaft, I can't go to college. Impossible for me to go. He said, I'll pay all of your tuition for you to get a college education. And you pay me when you get a job. I said, I just can't go. Impossible to go. So I had to suffer it out, but I did spend about 22 years in night schools. I never went running around my life, and my wife's the only girl I ever had. I used to go to work and go to night school.
Where did you go to night school?
All different courses. I used to take 4-year courses in machine shops and 4-year courses drafting and mathematics. And I wanted to know about sheet metal work. That's one thing that my wife always said to me. You have never read fiction books. I said, I don't get anything out of fiction books. She said, it's all your mechanical books. And,
She read fiction.
oh, she was smart. Oh, she smarter than I was. I don't know how she married a dumb guy like me. But anyway, I designed our own house and built the house before we were married. But I had to make everything. Then we came back from the war. You had to buy nails by the pound. I had to make my own window case, a door case, everything. I had to, my own stair treads and all.
Oh, right.
And but it took me about 2.5 years to do it. But I did it. Then we got married.
And you're
She had
still
her-
in the same house?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want
It's
to
held
die.
up?
I know every nail in that house. I want to die there. I don't want to go anywhere else. She didn't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go out. Well, I was when Gilbert and Barker moved out. There was a consulting firm in Detroit. They said, "Come on and work for us. You got a job here." And I said, "Dan, you've had 3 children, and you were never home once when any one of those births. Here you are on a Friday night. You can't run fast enough to Bradley Field to go to Detroit, and then Monday morning you got to be back here at work." So then I went to work at Pratt & Whitney, and that was a real good experience for me, because I went from
Pratt & Whitney in East Hartford, is it?
Gilbert and Barker was an oil industry, a part of Exxon. Pratt & Whitney is an aircraft industry. So it was a big transition for me going from a petroleum to an aircraft industry. And it's industrial engineering is entirely different manufacturing and assembly of different components.
So was that in East Hartford?
Yes, you know,
So you drove down there every day?
yes, I did, back and forth, you know. But I was good to them and they were good to me. I really was. It's fine. I had
That's
I had a
good
wonderful education down there.